Good evening humans, tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the TMNT Mirage 4-pack from NECA Toys. I never thought we'd see this version of the turtles in plastic form, and here they are. So the question is, did NECA deliver? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, these look incredible, and NECA always brings it with the sculpts, and here I'm happy to say that they did that as well. One of my favorite parts about this representation of the turtles is I love the kind of like slightly rounded, blocky look to everything, and I think they captured that very nicely here, just everywhere, and the musculature, the shells, just that everything has just that nice kind of like gritty and squared off and kind of rough look to it, so that's awesome. Talking about things that are pretty much the same across all four turtles, that's pretty much the arms, the legs, and the shells, I think, to a degree. The damage might be different. Nope, damage is the same. So the shells are the same, the arms, the legs. However, differences come in pretty much everywhere after that. So obviously you have 4 different head sculpts, just different looks for all 4 turtles. Kind of bring them in a little more into focus here. And beyond that, we actually do get different damage on the front of the shells. So there is, as you can see here, pretty much all the scratches are different on all of them, and that transfers over to the pads as well. So we got different scratches here on the knee pads for Raph and Leo, and same thing for the shoulder pads. Just they kind of went in differently there, which is really cool, a really nice touch. They didn't really necessarily have to do, so that's a really cool way to further make them a little more individual. Beyond that, just the colors are perfect. I do like the turtles with all the red bands, just because red's one of my favorite colors, and yeah, I think it works and it looks kind of nice. So yeah, other than that, just really great looking representation of the Mirage version of the turtles. This being a 4-pack, of course, we get a great loadout of accessories, and starting most importantly with all of their signature weapons. So we do get Donnie's bow staff, as you can see, very nicely sculpted there, some nice wood grain, nice aging here on the handle piece. Then we get Raph's size, again, done very well. The wraps with a little bit of aging there. The kind of bluish white to the plastic here for the actual metal. For Leo, we get his swords, very similar to the size in terms of the finish. All around here, great sculpt as well. And then finally, of course, we get Mikey's nunchucks. Very, very basic, but that's all they need to be. And they do have a little bit of a string attachment, which I do like. It allows it to move around a little bit. So that's very nice. So that's their signature weapons. Then they actually share sets of hands, because I imagine the price of the pack would have gone up if they had each gotten their own set of like everything. So right out of the box, we do get just some standard gripping hands for all of them. So they all have gripping hands. Then we get a set of fists, a set of gripping hands with a little more space between the middle of these 2 fingers, and that is for Raph specifically, so he can have the points of his size coming through there. Then we get a couple of clawed kind of posed hands, and finally a couple chopping hands. So great sculpt all around on these as well. Then they all get their own kind of straight bands, or the back of their headbands. The ones that are on them all kind of come over the right shoulder. And then finally, Raph gets the most accessories pretty much flat out. So like I said, he gets his own set of hands for the size. Then he gets a separate arm with the wrapping here at the bicep. And that's pretty easy. Actually, further showing that these are all actually the same base mold. All of their right arms come off, and that just kind of pops off like that. And you can put the one with the band on there. Then finally, Raph gets this little bit of a hood. Very nice texture work here as well. And they did a nice kind of like dry brush over it, or wash rather, pardon me. And just really gives it some nice character and makes it look rather realistic, which kind of contrasts the line work going on here very nicely, I think. So yeah, that's accessories. Articulation here is wonderful all around, so let's take a look at it from top to bottom as we do. As you can see, we can hold a freestanding kick, and I use Leo A, because he's my favorite turtle, and B, because we've got the swords on the back, which is going to alter that balance a little bit, but just beautifully done here. So you got that. Then we come to the head. We are in a ball joint. Actually, I think that might be a dumbbell joint, so we can look up pretty nicely. We can look all the way down. We can go all the way side to side. Of course, you can tilt all the way around. Come to the arms. Not quite getting our T. We get a little bit further on the right because, again, they do come out for all the turtles. But for that left arm, we're gonna just miss it because of how bulky that sculpt is. So we get a bicep swivel here as well, also kind of hindered by the sculpt a little bit, very, very tight. Get double jointed elbows, which actually have great range, especially considering those armbands, the elbow pads. So there's that. Then we get hinge and swivel at the wrists, all horizontal. Then nothing obviously up here at the upper diaphragm. It's kind of hard to get the articulation with the shell, but they did add, as you can see down here, I don't think they've used these on the other turtle lines just yet, but you can see this like hip piece that kind of moves around. So it does give you a little bit of side to side. You can twist a little bit there. The shells are pliable and kind of come up a little bit, so you can definitely get into some better poses there. Then we come into the legs, full splits all around beautifully. We get almost a full front kick. And from there, that assembly, we also get our thigh swivel, get double jointed knees coming just about to 90, maybe a smidge past. Then we get perfect point, some okay forward, and some really nice rocker. And then finally, kind of the hidden piece of articulation is they do all have their tails and they are on kind of a swivel there. So as you can see, that kind of moves around. And be careful because these do kind of pop out occasionally because I didn't realize they had the tails. One popped out and I was like, what the hell is that? And then, yeah, so something to be cautious of, but overall just great articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here they are with some other Ninja Turtle lines. With some Hasbro and some Mattel. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally with Articulated Icons Oni, and yours truly in human form as a Valorverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the TMNT Mirage 4-pack from NECA Toys is that this is an absolutely fantastic set. Just everything hits, the aesthetics are on point, the articulation is nice and smooth and fun, and the accessories are great. So just, yeah, pretty much this absolutely lives up to everything I hoped it would be, especially where, as I had said at the beginning, this is a version of the Turtles I never expected to see in plastic form. So I am very much pleased. I think this lives up to what I had hoped for. So absolutely, if you're a fan of this version of the Turtles as I am, absolutely get this. This is a must-have as far as I'm concerned in that regard. So as of right now, there is a landing page. This is a Target exclusive. There is a landing page on Target's website. However, it's not available through the website at the moment. It's sold out pretty quickly from what I understand. That way, though it is still on shelves in certain stores. So I will be putting that landing page in the description below. So hopefully you can find yours out in the wild. And even if this first run goes out, I kind of hope that they do a reissue here. So everyone who wants it can get it, because NECA has been relatively good about that lately. And I hope they keep that up because honestly, everyone who wants this should have it. It's a great set. So yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about it. So I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Other ways to help at the bottom of the description. And ultimately, I hope you come back because, pardon me, I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So come on back, let's share our interests, let's talk some more toys. And ultimately, I just hope you are well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.